T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome to the Play It By Ear podcast. The podcast where the topics may vary because, hey, we play it by ear. And now your hosts, Eric Fiskus, Brady Liming, and Todd Griffin.
Welcome to episode 86 of the Play It By Ear podcast. And once again, our two words are Hooday.
Hootie.
Hooday. Coming for you. Cutting for you, Titans. Coming for you.
Allers. They'll always be the allers.
Allers. Yeah. Bud, what was his name? Oh, daggone it. Coach that wore the big cowboy hat.
Oh, Bum Phillips.
Bum Phillips. I almost said Bud Phillips. Wrong person.
Buck Owens.
Buck Owens.
Assistant coach Roy Clark.
Savannah, welcome. Maxwell.
Hey, Savannah.
Welcome.
Hey, Maxwell.
Website is on top of the screen. Visit it. We'll talk about it here as we go along here in the show. Once again, we're on episode 86 of the Play It By Ear podcast. If you've not been with us before, we each bring a topic to the table. We talk 20-ish minutes about said topics and more on the ish than the 20 generally. But we always invite you to chime in, comment. You add to what we do. You bring little nuggets out that we don't think about, which is always good and makes our conversations a little more well-rounded. The only part of my life where I would rather be well-rounded than not. All right, we are on the order on the screen that we will present our topics. Todd, Brady, and myself. And I will end up with the game of the night.
Gain.
So, gain. So everybody gain up. We got 10 people in the room. Once again, please sign in if you so desire. We will call attention to you, or maybe some of you would rather not have attention called to you, and that's all well and good as well.
Lurking in the shadows.
Yes, lurking.
In the shadows of the pod.
Maxwell just finished a Star Wars marathon.
Nice.
Good use. And you got a snow day tomorrow, man.
Well, you can watch Star Wars for me, pal. That's all well and good. All right. Hey, we're up to
Watch it,
17
Fiskus.
now.
Watch it. Just watch it, man.
No,
For those
I'm
just tuning in, Eric has never watched Star Wars.
That's wrong.
Well,
That's the first one. That's it.
he wasn't on board.
Was not on board.
He was in a galaxy close to home. Not
Were
far,
you into
far away.
Star Trek?
No Star Trek either.
No Star Trek either? Nothing
only
in the
Buck Rogers
stars.
of the 25th century.
Aaron Gray, yes. The only
Duck
thing about
Dodgers
Star-
of the 24th and a half century.
The only thing about Star Trek I ever liked was Deanna Troy on the Next Generation or the New Generation or whatever it was called.
Forget about her.
I liked her.
You know something I really legitimately want. I've always read about it and never heard it. It's something like Leonard Nimoy did a couple albums. Oh, I know what it is. Golden Throated Stars or something like that, or a bunch
Yeah,
of TV.
He could sing pretty well.
Really?
Yeah.
I bet he was no Jim Neighbors.
Absolutely not. Johnny has never watched Star Wars either, so brother in arms, Johnny. Brother in arms.
You two are in dire straits.
Hey, Gary? I bet Gary's watched Star Wars.
I'm sure Gary has. All right. So once again, Todd will have our first topic. Todd, the floor is yours.
All right. So for this one, you're going to need a pencil and some paper. Or pencil and a paper because...
Us too.
Yes, you guys will need one too, yeah. Because we're going to find out just how Southern y'all are.
Y'all.
And it wouldn't be me if I weren't doing a food topic. I don't think I've done a food topic in 2022 yet.
Not yet.
So here we go. So you get 1 point for every food that you have eaten. And we're going to use this to determine how Southern y'all are.
That was my next question. I didn't put the food in this, so it's going to be Southern-based foods then.
Southern-based foods, yes.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Good, yes.
So before you get started, Todd, we were talking before we went on the air about how this area is kind of a gateway to the South, or gateway between the South and the North, and there's a lot of Southern things that are here that are not in other parts of Ohio. So I actually sent this topic along, as we often do. We'll see things and we'll shoot text each other. Is this a good topic? Is that? So Todd, being the foodie that he is, thought that this would be a good one. So the Southern thing kind of tied into the culture here. So a little background there. So go ahead.
And I did skim through some of these, but in true play it by ear fashion, I did not study it, nor did I look at all of the. There are 3 columns of foods, and I just skimmed through, like, hit and miss on a few of them, and so there's some interesting picks here. So without further ado, number 1. So give yourself, if you're playing along at home, give yourself a number 1 if you have ever had, or give yourself 1 point if you have ever eaten peach cobbler.
Yeah.
Oh, of course we have.
I think we can all say that we have partaken in some cobbler of the peach variety.
So is cobbler in general a Southern thing? And what makes something a cobbler?
Yeah, because in the North we call it cabbler.
Yeah.
Cabbler.
In New York, they call it a
In New York,
cabbler.
cabbler. You got your peach cabbler.
So you got the topping, the crusty topping, and then you have the. So what makes a cobbler?
I think it's got something to do with the crust is a little bit more thicker and cake-like on top. And isn't cobbler usually square? It's squaw instead of round.
Squaw. I don't
Rectangular,
know
if you will.
that it must maintain a squaw, but because I've had cobblers made in round dishes. At least we called them cobblers. I know cobbler is often topped off with some vanilla bean ice cream. No matter what flavor the cobbler is, you got to put the vanilla bean on top.
Warm cobblers with vanilla ice creams. Yeah.
All right, we got a lot on the list here. So there's some here that are going to bring forth a lot more conversation than peach cobbler. So number 2, give yourself a point if you have ever eaten chicken, and they spelled it wrong here though, because it says chicken and dumplings, and it's chicken and dumplings. There's no need to enunciate the dumpling.
To be served with a dessert, a pudding afterward. Of course, I have consumed the poultry and dumplings. It's never been one of my favorites. I like it, but dang, daggone, it's heavy. If I eat chicken and dumplings, cancel my itinerary for the next day because it puts me in a food coma. It's
I thought you were going to say you would be busy putting the dump in dumplings.
That's what I was thinking.
No, no.
I have my guilty take on this is I always like the sauce, the gravies, whatever you want to call it, the use and the dumpling better than the chicken. I mean, you can have chicken in anything, but those just something about a wet biscuit, and I usually don't like wet food, so that goes against my. But a biscuit with some pale
Gelatinous goo.
thick and creamy sauce on a biscuit is good.
Oh,
You don't eat chicken and dumplings, Eric?
I didn't know. I will
Oh,
not
my
eat anything that's a dumpling.
No,
It's
strangely,
not like a biscuit. All a dumpling is a biscuit.
With gravies on it. No,
Wow.
no, I mean, no.
You
No,
can take
no.
your napkin and pat it dry before you eat it.
What's the use in that? I just eat the dry biscuit with the chickens.
give me that dry biscuit. No, but actually, I don't think it's much of a gravy as it is like a
Close enough.
I hate to say sauce,
So what do you call it? Yeah, it is
a compote.
a compote.
I don't know.
It's yellowish in color. It's kind of clear, whitish, yellowish, tannish. I don't know.
It's jaundice gravy.
Yeah, it's
You're not doing anything for this
yeah.
at all.
Well,
with your biscuit.
you are 50 years old. I'm probably not going to convince you to eat chicken and dumplings by
Well,
now, so
yeah,
I'm not
no,
even
you
going to
won't.
try.
You won't.
We should have a
now-
Star Wars chicken and dumpling party.
It's
I
the
will not-
Eric Misery episode.
I will not be in attendance. David, Cobbler always has a biscuit mix topping. So there you go.
So see, chicken and dumplings, and you eat the biscuit in the cobbler, but you won't eat the biscuit
It's a dry biscuit.
No, it's not dry.
Yes, it is.
In a cobbler, it's got cobbler juice on it.
On top, it's dry. Say it's like a biscuit. When you put jam on a biscuit, it's like that.
Jam. What are you? You're from Sardinia. You don't use jam. You use jelly.
Jellies.
All right,
Preserves.
here we go. Give yourself a point if you've ever eaten cornbreads.
Cornbreads. I eat that compound more than the. Yeah, of course, cornbread.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't imagine. Okay, I know it's associated with the South, like you find it at Cracker Barrel and things like that. But I challenge anybody in the continental and external United States to tell me they've never eaten cornbread.
Yeah. I am particular about my cornbreads. Speaking of Cracker Barrel, I do not like Cracker Barrel's cornbreads. I like my cornbreads to be sweet like cake. Basically, I like it icingless cake. It's pretty much what it is.
And when we discussed this the last time, I said I prefer my cornbread to be like rustic bread. It's going to be gritty, where you can see the husk where it
Yeah.
used to be.
That's
You know?
that's Cracker Barrel's is that way. It's grainy and
Yeah.
gritty. It's like sand. It's
Yes.
like
Should be a fair amount of grit.
I like sweet and smooth and moist. It's gotta have some moisture to it. I like City Barbecue's cornbreads and Famous Dave's cornbreads, but Cracker Barrel's I do not like. Has no taste to it. Cracker Barrel's doesn't.
All right, we have comments.
All right,
Gary says the wet biscuit is a great name for a restaurant.
that is.
Or maybe some other type of business. I don't know. Johnny says the soggy biscuits.
That sounds like a biker bar.
Jim, welcome. Todd, if you saw C&D's beside the
Chicken
pool,
nuggets beside the pool. Maybe so. Maybe so.
yeah. David says it's thickened chicken
that's-
broths.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David.
We could not come up with the term. All we knew was it was wet and not gravy.
Wet and not- he
Enjoy
also says-
enjoy the snow day tomorrow, Mr. Schmitz.
also
All right.
says, sweet cornbread with cracklings. And Jiffy is the best. Says Susan. Welcome, Susan.
Hey, Susan. Number next on the list.
Number next. There are no numbers.
There are no numbers. Give yourself a point if you have ever consumed gumbo. Gumbo. Soup of the South.
I believe I have. If I have, it's been less than 5 times.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not something that's a go-to for me, but I don't remember disliking it. It's just gumbo doesn't appear on many menus of the places that I frequent.
Yeah. I don't like the seafood part of gumbo typically. I don't mind the other part of gumbos, and I can pick out the shrimps and whatever else.
Is seafood exclusive to gumbo?
No,
Is
well,
there
what do you
more
mean?
than one gumby?
Yeah, there's like Gumby. There's several Gumby types. Well, at least called that. Like my brother has made like turkey gumbo and things like. I mean, like I don't know what makes it gumbo.
Seafood.
Gumbo has rice in it, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm getting my gumbo and my jambalaya mixed up.
I might be as well. Jambalaya is not soup, though, is it? It's not soup based.
No,
It's more thicker.
It's a pile of rice
liquidy.
and creepy crawlies. Next on the list, give yourself a point if you have ever consumed frog legs.
9.
no.
I have not on that one. This is the first one we've had so far that I have not tried.
Yes. That is my first swing and miss.
So, are there any other parts of the frog that are edible? I mean, how did someone decide, hey, I'm going to have those legs right there?
The
It's not
most
like the chicken leg and everything else in the chicken for the most part is edible.
yeah.
Is
Well,
the rest of the frog edible?
how could you see a frog leg, and think there's some damn good meat on those
Some
on
good
those
meat
getaway
right there.
sticks,
Getaway.
hop away sticks?
It would have been a riveting conversation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry.
Well, and at what point did you know where to stop eating? Like, what point? Where did you detach the leg? Like, where did you decide? Like, I can't imagine frog ass cheeks are nearly are as quite the
bite.
delicacy.
So say once you get to anus, stop.
Because frogs kind of have butt cheeks. I mean, if you look real close, and so. But like any leg, it's more meat the higher you go up. So again, I can't imagine there being much. I could see frog legs being one of those things where you have to have 92 of them to get any kind of filling out of it.
Not the meatiest of games there.
Yeah.
I would say a frog leg could be less fulfilling than a buffalo wing, and that takes a lot.
Or a snack pack pudding.
Oh,
No, I like snack pack puddings,
or
but
a fun
you need
size Snickers.
you need 16 of them to even get a.
It's like Eric get his Capri Sun argument.
Oh yeah, Capri Suns.
All right,
Nice.
we have chicken fried steak up next. Chicken fried steak.
Guilty.
Again, not a go-to for me. I believe I have. So chicken fried steak. Again,
Chicken fried chicken.
Isn't that a conundrum? I mean, isn't that a chicken
So is
fried
it
chicken? Of course,
there
fried chicken is
possum fried chicken?
And why is there not steak fried steak? I mean, is there?
No, but I bet there's chicken fried possum.
Ooh.
I think it's maybe Eric. I don't have the official answer, but if you think about it, you don't typically think of steak as being fried, so you don't usually have fried steak. So
I mean,
it's
Is
why
chicken
chicken
fried-
fried steak.
Is it the same as country fried steak?
I think it is, which
Okay.
makes sense of why Eric wouldn't eat it because it usually contains a white gravy.
yeah, no white gravies.
Yeah.
Now I had plenty of fried steak, but I'm assuming the chicken fried part is the covering, the
breading.
the bread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd eat that without the gravies.
Next one I've never heard of. This is the first one on the list that I've never heard of, so I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's either burgoo or burgoo, maybe. It's Burgoo, so I don't know if it's a soft or a hard G.
I've heard of burgoo. I don't know I don't remember what it is, but I bet it's not good.
Well, any food that has goo in it as part of the,
All due respect, ragu.
well, this actually is spelled goo, Goo.
Yeah, that's not
GU
good.
doesn't count.
If anybody listening can help us fill us in on what a
Yes, what is burgoo?
I'm gonna look it up
Burgoos.
right now. I'll be the let's see what I can do here.
David's had all the answers here on all these things, so I'm thinking he probably knows. Got comments. Todd Savannah agrees with you on cornbreads.
Thank you, Savannah.
David Nollins chicken, shrimp, and andouille. Andouille.
Okay, here we go. I got it. Burgoo is similar to Irish or mulligan stew, served with cornbread or corn muffins. It's often prepared communally for a social gathering, and it is popular in the Midwest and South.
David beat you to it, Brady. Kentucky stew with mutton base. It's like sheep.
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 Yeah.
You dirty fool.
So the only thing about Brady's definition is Brady started out telling me what bagoo is by telling me two other things I have no clue what they are.
Oh, yeah.
Read that again.
Irish
you
stew or
said
mulligan stew?
Irish stew and mulligan stew. That doesn't help me one bit. No,
Okay,
what bagoo
it's
is.
like a beef stew. It's
Okay.
like a big old vat of a big old
It's got a lot of
Cauldron.
taters in it, doesn't it?
yeah
More taters than anything.
yeah.
Taters.
Taters.
I thought you said taters. It's like I don't know that I've ever heard anybody say
Taters.
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 Taters. That's a northern way to say it. Gary says, why not frog fried steak?
Or steak fried frog.
Steak fried frog.
Or frog fried frog. All right, on the list. Give yourself 1 point if you have ever enjoyed a hush puppy. And who hasn't enjoyed a puppy of hushness?
Oh, yeah.
That quieted canine.
I enjoyed plenty of hush puppies with my barnacles at Long John Silver's.
You and your made up barnacles.
Not me.
You can bet your barnacles that there was no such thing as barnacles.
My nephew and I, when we went to Cleveland last weekend, had this discussion because he worked for a time in early college at Long John Silver's. And I asked him this question, and he said, well, we just called them crummies.
He's too
But
young. He's too young.
Okay.
He's
so-
too young, but he did tell me what they were used for. They're just not for culinary enjoyment. You put those in the bottom of the cardboard container, and it keeps the oil from getting through and making it fall through. So basically, we are eating the aquarium gravel of the fast food world.
Or the throw up sawdust basically is what it is. Yeah.
Sawdust.
But by the way, how many people do you guys need to tell you, including now people that work there that have never heard them called barnacles, for you guys to admit
he's
defeat?
Too young. He's too young.
But the very fine folks that watch our show and that chimed in that night and said they've never heard of it are not too young.
Yeah,
I'm
They're
winning.
just ill informed.
exactly.
All right. Have you guys had the hush puppy variety at some places where they make them almost like a dessert? They put like a honey butter or like a like some sort of sweet kind of butter to put on them. I've had that. And it's
It
not
was
bad.
marketed as a dessert puppy, like a what confectionery puppy, but I don't
Or a
think
shush puppy
Ooh. Maybe just a shy puppy,
or a zip it puppy.
or a shut your saucebox puppy.
Hot
I-
puppy.
I don't know that I'm down with that. I'm with Savannah right there with that comment. Hush puppies with malt vinegar. You take a bite out of the hush puppy, then you put some of that vinegar inside of it.
Right after you clean your sink with it.
I am not a fan. Say as a malt vinegar user when it comes to Long Johns. I am not a
Malted vinegar.
malted vinegar. Yeah.
I like my
Carissa,
shakes
welcome.
malted.
Hello, Krista.
Also, the barnacles are the packing peanuts. And yes, I will call them barnacles. I will continue to call them barnacles.
Oh, did you see Savannah's comment? We have
Papo
our first
called the
external
crunchies
confirmation,
barnacles
Todd.
as Well, yes. Papo needs
So-
to come on the show,
Savannah, if you don't mind me asking, what your papa's age?
What?
Or, what are you trying to say, Tom?
You know exactly what
What are
I'm
you
trying to
getting
say. All right, next on the list we have
Did you get your Shady
is it-
Pines letter today, Eric?
Souse.
They were saying.
Souse. Souse. It's S-O-U-S-E. Souse. Souse.
S-O-U-S-E?
S-O-U-S-E.
Seuss?
Souse.
Seuss?
No, it's the drunk. It's the drunken Mel. It's Mickey Souse, the one that had a vodka problem.
Can someone tell us what Souse is? Maybe it's Swiss.
Carissa says Apple Barn does the hush puppy. The
Yeah.
hush puppies, does it with powdered sugars and apple butters on the side.
Yeah. Oh, I like apples butters.
Okay.
Savannah's Papal was 89 when he passed away in 2015. So being as Papal knows, I'm sorry he passed away there. Sorry for your loss, but he knows.
But bottom line, he was an older gentleman, and you guys are older gentlemen, so maybe that's why you guys all three called them barnacles.
Oh gosh, we have probably not eaten souse.
What is souse?
It is a variety of head cheese found in Pennsylvania Dutch cuisine. It is not a dairy product, but rather a product made from the head of an animal, usually a pig or a calf, along with some leftover scraps that remain after butchering that often include the feet, tongue, and heart. Its entrails.
I've never had that. First off, I would think head cheese is a variety of cheese. How do you have a variety of head cheese? Is it head cheese or not? If it's not head cheese, it's not a variety of head cheese.
Head cheese is not cheese, is it? It's just called cheese.
Well, still.
Pennsylvania Dutch aren't Dutch. They're German. They just called them Deutsch, and they got it wrong. I'm surprised they go along with that.
Yeah, I have not had souse.
It's like processed cheese food.
It's meat.
Next, we have shrimp and grits. So I'm gonna clarify this. You had to have had them together. You can't say, "Well, I've had shrimp or I've had grits." You had to have consumed them.
Package.
Yes.
It takes the entire grit eating world 20 minutes to make their grits. I just
Really?
had to say that. I just had to say that from my cousin Ben.
I'm
Every time
going
I
to go
hear
a little
grits,
quicker. I don't think any of us have ever had oyster or shrimp and grits.
Nope.
No.
Don't like
Next up.
shrimp.
Royster casserole.
Oyster casserole.
Royster casserole. We've had that that
Boy.
on here before.
The only thing that's like two of my most disliked things. I think the only thing that'll be a step below that is cat poop casserole, because oysters are about the cat poop would have a case.
Of course, they say oysters make you randy, Brady.
Like the cane toad?
Like the king toad.
Brady and his stubborn anti-casserole stance.
It's not stubborn.
It is stubborn.
It's curmudgeonly.
You can like every ingredient in a casserole. You won't eat it because it's called a casserole. That is the very definition of stubborn.
That's self-preservation.
Curmudgeon.
Next, Eric. One of Eric's favorite on the list. By the way, I was a no on the oyster casserole. You know, I did by accident one time eat it because it was next to the regular stuffing
Had an accident.
on Thanksgiving, and I took a bite of it, but I spat it out.
There's nothing worse than the accidental. I think that's why I dislike casserole so bad. It's like, oh man, this looks like some kind of lasagna. You open up and stick it in your mouth, and it's something vile.
See, but that's my point. I would argue that a lasagna is a casserole.
It's Italian.
It's still a casserole.
So
All right.
did you have a napkin when you spat it out? Did you?
Oh, I don't remember. I was a teen. I probably just spit it on the floor. All right. Next, one of Eric's favorite. And I know this word makes Brady's toes curl. Congealed salad. Congealed salad. Eric, can you find a picture of congealed salad and pull it up, maybe?
It just sounds like crime scene photos. You'll see in the lab the victim's congealed salad was left in the.
I mean, how does the word congealed scream out, "Hey, this is good eating"?
You know, you can just leave it off. Like, you know, they don't say congealed Vienna sausages. We just know they're congealed and we enjoy them anyway.
But you just said salad. That takes it a pretty big page there.
Which in my world is, of course, lettuce or fruit.
Okay. Can
No,
you
I
imagine
thought you've said before that
happening?
you don't mind. Oh, it's Jello. You don't mind fruit in your Jello.
No, I don't mind fruit in my jello.
Okay.
If someone says, "Here, would you like a salad?" and you didn't specify, and they're expecting like a Caesar or a Cobb, and then you hand them that,
A cab, you say?
That is congealed salad.
Now, I'll be honest, that doesn't look too bad. The middle part you can
a little bit
take,
too red.
but that just looks like Jello to me.
So what
looks like
is it?
cat.
What's in that?
I bet when you get in there, there's all kinds of foreign objects.
I hate to go this direction, but that looks like Bottle the Cat's Twinkle Tush. That thing is bedazzling, and that red thing is what he's concealing.
Let me see what's in congealed
Now
salad
you
here.
can unsee it.
Well,
David says Jello molds with veggies and fruit. There we go. That's why those were at our at our family unions. Veggies and fruit.
as long as it don't have some pecans and some shredded cheddar cheese on top.
Ooh, and many put fish in it.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh!
Ooh.
There'll be no holration
man.
man.
I'm dry heaving a little. Fish doesn't belong to anything that doesn't say fish in the title. You know what I mean? Like, here's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. We put some fish in it. I mean, all right. Rounding out this column, fried green tomatoes. I'm a big fan. Fried green tomatoes.
No,
I mean, I've never eaten them. I
No.
don't know that I would be against them, but
my whole
maybe it's because of the movie. I don't think I get
Well-
it because of the movie.
Well,
the
the problem with
Bates is
there's a lot of places that have added fried green tomatoes to their menus. It seems like, but most of them take the route of putting the bar fare, where they just use the same breading on everything.
Right.
An actual fried green tomato in my book doesn't have like an onion ring breading on it. It has like a flour based. I don't know. It's just you can still see the shape of the tomato and tell it's a tomato, as opposed to just a round fried disc in a basket.
my whole thing. I probably have the disconnect. I shouldn't mind it, but you're not supposed to eat green tomatoes because they're not ripe yet, and it just seems like I'm eating something I'm not supposed to.
But you fry all the badness out of it when you fry.
Yeah, it's kind of like you don't eat a green apple pie. Well, if you did, it would be pretty interesting afterwards. but
But there's no such. Well, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Got the green apple splatters.
or the more southern version, the green apple two-step.
That was Mr. Garrison from South Park.
Yeah, it was. Sorry, Todd. Oh,
We got comments here. I gotta get to real quick. So the head cheese, David says, all the grossest pig parts mixed with fat gelatin and made into a lunch meat loaf. And Krista says that's mystery meat. Josh says shrimp and grits are good. Welcome, Josh.
Hello, Josh.
Let's see. Chris was grossed out by the congealed fish, as were we.
Well, at least if they caught a congealed fish, you would know to suspect some fish. But when I'm eating congealed salad, I don't want to get a big fork full of grouper in the middle of my congealed salad.
David and Gary also both said cornmeal breading on the fried green tomatoes.
yeah.
Is that what I don't? I'd have to ask my mom. For some reason, I don't think my mom does use cornmeal. I think she used flour.
Corn flour.
I don't know. I didn't read the bag, but yeah, a lot of restaurants around here tend to put the onion ring style breading on it, and I'm not as big a fan.
Well, you could put that breading on most anything; it'd be edible.
Yeah, but at that point, it's just the breading. I mean, like, I treat that like I used to do onion rings when I was growing up. You eat the breading and just let the dead onion just
be.
fall on your plate and leave it alone.
David says you can do both. I think we need to appoint David the culinary correspondent for Play It By Ear.
If we had a payroll, he would certainly be on it now for future reference.
Here's one for you guys: pickled pig's feet. Little alliteration to start that one out. Pickled pig's feet.
No.
No.
You know where pigs walk? It's the same reason I don't eat liver. I know what
Livers
a liver
don't
does.
walk.
I know what a liver does.
They do in my dreams. Slow burn there, Eric. Oh yeah.
I know what
That
a
was the
liver
weirdest analogy ever. You know where pigs walk? That's the same reason I don't eat liver.
You know where fish swim? Wait a minute. When you go to the butcher, I know that pork butt. I mean, they're not exactly.
But Eric, you eat chicken, don't you? Chickens are some of the foulest animals ever.
Well,
It's the name.
I don't eat their feet, and I don't eat their what makes them foul. Foul, Fowl, Foul.
What about hamburgers? Do you eat hamburgers? You're all right though. We don't eat the hooves and feet of things most of the time.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Pig's feet, do they pop the hoof off and then before they pickle it, or is it just like the?
I assume it's like
metatarsals
if you ate toes, you would want to remove the toenail. I would assume it's. I mean, I think they have to remove the hard
worse
shell.
The hoof is how you hold it. You eat it
like a chicken.
It would behoove you to remove the pig. It would behoove you to dehoove the pig. I've never heard of this next one. Chess pie. Now,
Yes.
I've heard of it, but I don't recall what it is.
chest pie.
I
Check
see it
her
on
out.
menus a lot around here. I can't recall as to what it is, but
Is it some sort of, can like any pie be chess pie and it's the way it's made or the shape or the design on it or something, or is there actual ingredients in chess pie that
I
make
think
it?
there's
wait a
particular
minute.
ingredients.
Are you saying chest, like your chest, or chess is in the
Chess,
game?
as
I
in
was
the
saying
game.
chess, but any other time we say chess, we say chest. So therefore, I was saying chest. Clear as mud.
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody chiming in on the chess pies?
Not yet,
here.
but I think
Me.
it's a particular ingredients to that pie. Seems like.
All right.
So there we go. David, of course, with the answer. Same as sugar or transparent pie.
Well, then
Two fly pie.
I'm going to give myself a point for that because I've probably eaten it then. I like transparent and sugar pie.
Yeah.
well,
I'm
but,
gonna.
but was it called chess pie? Can you give yourself the point if it was not referred to as chess pie?
If it is a synonym of transparent and sugar pie, then
You might have had translucent pie.
see. I actually thought there was a difference between transparent and sugar pie. I thought one of them was more actually clearish, and one of them was like pretty yellow.
So one is transparent, one's translucent.
My grandma
Opaque
was
pie.
my grandma was a pie mastermind back in the 80s, and I remember eating
our restaurant.
eating all kinds of pies there, but I don't know if I ever remember a chess pie. So I removed my point.
Actually, I think I'm with you there on the sugar and transparent pie. I think there is a difference because I always heard that sugar pie has a topping that transparent pie doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Remember that piece of pie that on the show one time you put a picture up and it literally was like see-through, like it was.
Like
Yeah.
it's made out of Vaseline or something.
All right, it looks like this needs to be a two-parter because we're not even close to halfway through the list. So I'm going to do one more
We'll just
before
do this all night.
before we call it a night, and then I'll make a mark here to know which one we left off with. All right.
So everyone's got to keep their scores when we're done.
Oh,
Yeah. It's one thing I like about doing this from my desk. I can make all kinds of notes on my giant calendar. Let's see here. Red eye gravy. Is it red eye gravy or is it red eye gravy? Because this past summer I had a case of the red eye gravy
Oh, my God.
when I had the eye infection.
I think eye gravy is tapioca.
That's fish eye gravy, though. Or walleye gravy, if you will. Let's see what red eye gravy is. Red eye. I put Ted eye. Red eye.
Please don't put up what Ted Eye is.
Red eye gravy. Give me a pick. Oh, it's like
Sawmill gravy?
well, this just shows it as like brown gravy. Red eye gravy is a thin sauce often seen in the cuisine of the southern United States and associated with country ham of that region. First off, I don't like country ham.
Really?
You might as well just suck on a salt block eating country ham. I like sweet ham, sugar hams. Country ham is just salty. There's no sweet or honey or glaze or anything to it. It's just a salty ham.
Yep.
Yeah.
very cured.
I prefer like Black Forest ham, or again some sort of sugar or syrupy ham.
Dale says red eye gravy has ham sop used in the gravy. Is that an actual thing? Sop.
Well, sop would be a verb normally, but I like the idea of using it as a noun. Like make sure before you sit down to eat your gravies, you got a good sop there with you at your table.
Like it's sort of like slop.
On your plate.
You could go slop the hogs, but you're also feeding the hogs slop. So it's like,
yeah, but sop is like soppage, like the actual act of sopping up
biscuit
and
or
sopping up
cornbreads. Yes,
the use.
Look at this by Gary. Quote, so you must be getting this from somewhere. A thick slice of country ham, then mixing the ham drippings with strongly brewed black coffee to deglaze the pan.
Ooh.
I like the ham dripping. Sounds very tasty to me.
They lost me with coffee.
Let's do a vote though. Let's do a vote here and see real quick who prefers country ham over good ham.
Who's going to get the right ham and who's going to get the wrong ham? You might as well
say there's no bias in that question at all.
Seriously, I mean, if you like country ham, that's fine. I mean, I'm just giving you a hard time, but it really is just like licking salt. There's no other flavor to it. It's the texture of ham with just salt.
Agreed.
You got to put something else on it to make it, Now you get some like sweet mustard or some honey mustard of some sort and put it on it. On a sandwich, it's not bad, but...
David says he likes the country ham.
Yep, yeah.
Salted.
Celia makes her ham with a Dr. Pepper reduction. That's usually what she uses to make her ham. She soaks it in the crock pot or something and puts some Dr. Pepper in there.
Kirsten, welcome. She
Kirsten.
does not like country ham either.
Yeah.
A few more comments here, not about the ham. Karen, welcome. You went there, behoove. Yes, we did. Couple votes there for one for country ham, one for no country ham. We all three say no country ham. I believe.
Brady says country ham.
Oh, Brady says. Would you rather have the country ham?
Which knowing Brady's other food, he has no taste buds. I just determined that his taste budless.
I know I do like city ham, but I also like country ham. I like them both.
City ham.
And suburban ham is fine too.
What about Berg ham?
Savannah agrees
Village
with Todd.
ham.
Susan says she's too old for country ham. Makes my hands and feet swell. Yeah,
I can see that because it kind of makes my tongue swell up like when I eat it.
Like
the salt.
Like my Chinese food dilemma. Whenever I eat Chinese food, I get the moon face.
Moonhead. Remember that,
Dale
Eric?
prefers. Yeah, I do remember that. Dale prefers country. John says Thanksgiving hams. I believe Thanksgiving hams are generally like of the honey glazed variety,
Yeah.
not of the country variety.
But I think they can be either, because I've gone to family get-togethers where people bring a country ham, and I stare them down and point to the exit and tell them to be gone.
You are excommunicated from the family. All right, so we will continue that list next week. Everyone keep their scores, and we will carry on. Gary said gentrified for me, gentrified ham. So with that, I guess that would be the suburban ham, right? All right, let me get back to the screen sharing here. Visit our website, www.playbyyourpodcast.com. And
I can't do much. There we go.
on the screen there.
Oh, no, gone.
When you go to the website, right at the top of each page, you will see our audio feeds there on the left, the video feeds in the center, and some other things played by your calendar, which I am not keeping up with very well. But also, you can register for the Play by Ear email list right there, and Always want to know where you access our podcast, and we can get that information there from you. And certainly helps us along as to see to where people are getting to our podcast. So again, you can find that on top of all the pages. There are links up there for our audio for Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Then our website and RSS feed is there as well. All right. So we are to wrong button there. There we go. Yes, Jim. Homework. Keep your score. Bring it back next week. We'll continue.
Submit it on Google Classroom.
Now, I don't know what that means, David. The best part of country ham is scraping off the mold. Is that actual mold? Or is that some...
It was like the thing that gave the ham its shape.
Could be
Casing?
the casing of the ham. All right, Brady.
Yeah.
You're up.
Okay. We have not talked about TV in a while. We have not gotten nostalgic for TV in a while. So I'm kind of like combining both of them. And this comes from TV Guide's list of the worst TV shows of all time.
Is TV Guide still a thing?
I don't know. It probably doesn't come in its minute magazinery style that it used to, but I'm sure that its whole catalog is probably now online now.
Wasn't
So
it
there's
glorious?
probably, yeah. I mean,
I have seen it upon occasion. I don't know if it's still sold or not, but when I saw it, it looked more like a magazine
yeah.
size thing.
Well, I was going to say, do you remember there was like another guide that wasn't called the TV Guide that was thinner?
Yeah,
it was
came in
bigger
the
and
Cincinnati Enquirer.
Yeah.
And see, I always preferred that. It was much more simplistic and to the point. When I went to my grandma's and she had TV Guide, it was like navigating, an anatomy textbook or something. It was
Well-
much too complicated.
Well, the one that came in the Cincinnati Enquirer could also be a swatting apparatus for flies,
Many dog has met its
dog
discipline.
rear ends, or even kid heinies.
I was going to say young children as well.
To where the other TV Guide was hard to roll. It was hard to roll up, and it wasn't. It would have been more firm, but shorter, and didn't have the
could
reach.
Cuss you too if it hit the
Yeah.
spine of the magazine.
Yeah, it's like hitting you with the phone book.
Yeah. But as soon as you said there started talking about rolling up, it's like, oh yeah, there's not a Southern Ohio kid or dog whose gluteus maximus has not felt the wrath of that TV Guide. All right.
Exactly, Carissa. Granny got it for the crosswords. TV Guide crosswords.
Oh yeah. Okay. So some of these we're gonna go through quickly, some of them not so much. But we gotta start off, and it's a pretty big list. I'm going to start at 40, but I'm going to just skip around a little bit. And the first one is Making It. It was a sitcom spinoff of Saturday Night Fever. And they say it was absolutely terrible. It was an
Making what?
awful idea.
Making what?
Whoopee?
Well, I remember watching it. It had a catchy theme song, Making It, na, 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 na. I think it was based on a disco song. And it became the TV show, which is never a good idea. I mean, why wasn't there a safety dance sitcom? But anyway, there is on number 39 the new, not the old, but the new Leave It to Beaver. It should have been Left to Beaver a long time ago, because this one gets 1 star and says it's absolutely terrible.
That was Beaver as an adult, right?
Yes.
The Beeves.
The
Reminds
rest-
me of the Revenge of the Nerds joke that he tells at the what was it? The end of the you know what I'm talking about, the
The Greek festival.
Yeah.
finale. Yeah.
Oh man.
I guess you're not going to go ahead and tell that joke. Or...
No, that goes beyond TV 14. I think you can Google it.
Good. Here's one. Robert Blake, who is but it's not Beretta, it's Helltown, where he plays a priest in a rough neighborhood. He's kind of like a like a no nonsense butt kicking priest that keeps street justice, is what I'm gathering.
Well, that was interesting considering he became a murderer.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, that probably doesn't play over real well. Now, I loved this show as a youth, but I probably know why it goes over poorly, gets on a list. The Misadventures of Sheriff Lobo,
Oh yes.
which was a
On the list.
spinoff of BJ and the Bear.
The bear.
Beach and the bear.
So if you have a show about a man and his monkey driving across the country in a semi, a spinoff of that can only be seen. Now, see, in the original show, he was a villain, and he was giving poor BJ the great, like he was harassing him. He was a bad
Business.
cop.
It's giving him the business.
Yes, but in his in the TV show, in his spinoff, he becomes Claude Aiken, becomes a good guy.
Yes. And what was it? What was the name of the deputy?
Perkins
Perkins. Yes.
Perkins.
Well, there were two deputies. There was the
and Birdie.
Birdie. Yes, the blonde guy.
So now this one, number 35, I have a red hot minute recollection of this. Pink Lady. It was a variety show. It was a variety show featuring a Japanese musical duo and their sidekick translator. What could go wrong?
So it had nothing to do with Grease?
No, it was
Pink Lady and Jeff, wasn't it?
yes. Not to be confused with Tony, Orlando, and Dawn.
Jeff, a comedian. Jeff, can't remember his last name. But they didn't speak English.
No. So they sang and performed and did variety acts, but they had to have their sidekick translator foil. How did that get greenlit?
I have literally never heard of any of these shows you've mentioned. I think I
Really?
do remember there was a spinoff on Leave It to Beaver, but other than that, I don't remember any of these.
Do you remember 1997's Homeboys in Outer Space?
No.
No.
I doesn't need much description. Let's see. How about The Powers of Matthew Starr? It was on from 1982 to 1983, and it looks like an absolutely horrific, and I'm going to show you this, 70s bad TV, science fiction,
wow.
special effects are not so special kind of TV show. And it lasted one season, and it's
Yeah,
pretty much regarded as bad.
Looks like something that would be on Mystery Science Theater for sure.
Exactly.
I don't think I ever watched it, but I remember it.
Briefly. Now, this is going to get some hate. At number 21, I skipped ahead, but Baywatch is on this list.
What?
I mean,
Come on now.
is it Citizen Kane? No, but that's not,
It was
Yeah.
good, and all of its spin-offs, like
Baywatch Nights,
Baywatch Nights, yeah.
It's
With
ridiculous.
Baywatch at Dusk.
man, the episode where the one lifeguard gets attacked by the shark, that haunted me for months.
That was your version of Jaws.
That was some good TV because she didn't die right away. If you
Did
remember right,
Yasmin Bleeth out there on the spot?
it was before Yasmin Bleeth. It was when I can't remember the two blonde. It was
Nicole
before
Eggert.
Pam Anderson was on it.
Nicole Eggert.
It was before Nicole Eggert.
Okay.
Shauna Weatherly or something like that or something.
Oh, yeah.
Sean Weatherly, but she got attacked, and then the other one, Erica something or other, Elaniak or something, or Erica.
Eric Elaniak, who was on
Elaniak.
groin
So-
pains.
Those three. And she didn't die right away, though. She got attacked by the shark, which, again, it scarred me. But she died later, which that made you even more scared because you're like, well, you can survive a shark attack and then die in the hospital a few days later? Bullshit.
Because sharks are what, Todd?
They're inhuman. And that just goes
Well,
to show
they
you they're
admit-
inhuman. Yeah.
The writers should have taken that, like they didn't die from the shark attack right away, but the shark shows up at their door to finish the job.
That would just be silly. That was back when Baywatch was pretty believable. I mean, at first it was a pretty believable show.
All right, we got comments here. David says Helltown was set in Hell's Kitchen. That's the name, Helltown. Day Old Lobo was great as Deputy the Jungle Cat classic. Gary says the Powers of Matthew Starr has been on Me TV recently. Not very good.
Yes.
And,
Very
John,
not good. There's a difference there. Very not good.
Yeah. And John says more like Babe Watch. Indeed.
Am I right?
If you took those ladies off the show, could the show stand by itself?
Well, and
No.
I'll be fair here. I'll be fair here. There was eye candy for both. For whatever your preference was. I mean, it was
right. But take these people out of their swimsuits, so to speak, and put them in regular clothing and run that show.
It's just me at work, man.
I'm gonna put time out there. How do you have a show about lifeguards and put them in regular clothes and say it would fail if you put them in regular clothes?
Baywatch Nights. There you go.
Where they had to jump in the bay to rescue.
I rest my case. Baywatch Nights.
Speaking of babes, also on this list is the Phyllis Diller show.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, that's just like a one-trick pony.
Glad she never guest starred on Baywatch.
Come on, there's nothing wrong with Phyllis's Diller. Or
Phyllis or her Diller. Luckily, we never saw Phyllis's Diller.
Now this one's an interesting choice, and it ran from 1976 for a long time. But the PTL Club, Jim and Tammy Faye Baker. Not because I think it's one of those ones that made the list. It was pretty off the charts, hokey at the time, but now that we know more about what really happened and everything, it made the fact that it ran that long. It's pretty.
Was Jim J. Bullock in that?
Jim J. Bullock, Jim Baker.
No, was it? For some reason, I was thinking there was something to do with
Jim. Jim and Tammy Faye show.
Yes,
they had a talk show. He is not.
I wasn't off my rocker.
That's right. I forgot.
Some network exec had a bender of shrooms that weekend, and then all of a sudden the idea was greenlit. Okay, now this one is from 1983. I can't imagine this be Casablanca, the TV show. It was a prequel to the movie. Do you remember this? I've never even heard of this.
No.
Maybe vaguely, but the subject matter would not have been one that a 13-year-old would have wanted to watch, I don't think.
No.
Nor at 7, how old I was, 6 or 7.
Yeah. I prefer Lawrence Welk to that. Let's go
back to Jim J. Bullock. What was his middle name? I always called him Jim Bullock.
And it wasn't even Jim, it was Jim. There was no I. Jim.
I just always pictured his name was
like
James. Like his middle name was the same as his first name. James Bullock.
There was a House of Representatives member. Her name was Dudley. She got married, and she became Dudley. Which
nice.
Okay, here we go. James Jackson Bullock.
Gotcha.
Oh, J-Jax.
Yeah.
All right. The Chevy Chase show, number 16.
Yeah, that was bad.
It was bad. Chevy.
What year was that?
That would have been 1993.
So he was still funny, somewhat at that point.
He was not funny on that show.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying he was still had the potential to be funny.
Yeah.
He had burned a lot of bridges by this time.
Because the older he got, the less funny he got.
Yeah.
Although he was funny in Community.
I was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Now this one is synonymous with bad TV. And to be honest, the concept I loved back in the day, and it must have been bad for me not to follow through watching it. Manimal.
Manimal.
1983's Manimal. And this was the first, NBC was on a hot streak. And Manimal was, it was high budget for the time. And it was really hyped before. And then the show hit, and not so good.
What year was that again?
1983.
Brady, did you have the Manimal lunchbox or Manimal lunchbox and thermos?
I did not.
If they never made a lunchbox and thermos, then it was a piece of crap show because every good show had to have a trapper keeper or a backpack.
Well, considering the Waltons had a lunchbox,
I like the Waltons.
I did too. I didn't as a kid, but I like it now.
But if you were a kid and you brought a Walton's lunchbox,
Oh, you get your ass kicked. Deservedly so.
Lights out, John boy. Hello, Larry.
Well, the only thing that would make it worse, Eric, is if your buddy had a Little House on the Prairie lunchbox.
Ooh.
yeah,
And your older brother had a Swiss Family Robinson lunchbox. Then it's a whole round of ass whooping coming for you.
Yeah. We got to credit my guy at Super 70 Sports. He has commented about the Walton's lunchbox as like, where it shows everybody chipping in because their jalopy had broke down, one of the wheels had come off, and everybody in the family's helping put the tire back on, except Grandpa, who's sitting in the car still. And they're like, "Nice job, Grandpa! Make everybody pick this up, and you too."
But he does not get the award for biggest piece of crap Grandpa ever. That goes to the Grandpa and Willy Wonka.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Who's been bedridden for however many years, and then all of a sudden he gets a golden ticket. And he can get up and dance around and go to the chocolate factory. Well, like there's nothing wrong. He was faking.
So Chris asked the question, can we bring back the gong for this segment? Maybe we should. We certainly want to hear from the audience. Have you ever watched any of these shows or your thoughts? Or I liked Hello, Larry.
See, I don't remember anything about it. I knew it was on about the same time as Facts of Life, and it didn't interest me. And all I knew he was
spinoff of the Facts of Life.
Oh, it was?
Was it?
Yeah. It was a what they call a backdoor, backdoor.
Shut your mouth.
I'm thinking promo. That's not the right thing. Debut.
Cross-reference.
Backdoor pilot. So they introduced the characters on an episode of Different Strokes and then made this show. The characters had never been on Different Strokes before. They introduced them specifically to create this show. And of course, McLean Stevenson was Larry. He was on MASH, and he had just left MASH, and that was his next show.
But wasn't his job like a TV psychologist or a radio?
He was a radio talk show host, is what he was.
And it was in some weird city like Portland. Or something. Oh, no, that's no.
See, now the thing, maybe the reason why I remember it is because he had a daughter that was about my age at the time, Kim Richards. I took a fancy to her.
You wanted to make a trip to say hello. All right.
Yes, Susan Backdoor Pilot does sound a bit scary.
It's my text.
All right.
That's the TV term for it. Yes. I did make that.
Yeah, I bet it is. What channel? Anyway, so I'm gonna go on right along. Now, this isn't much better, but all I want to know is if somebody has this. If somebody had an antiquated VHS or something, oh my gosh. Number 10 on the list, it ran from 1978 to 1979. Hee Haw Honeys. It was a spinoff just featuring... Well, wait a minute. I see only three honeys, and this just looks...
If Ganilla Hutton isn't in it, I'm not watching it. Is
that Lulu?
Right. No, Ganilla Hutton was the dark-haired Hee Haw Honey.
Oh, yeah, I think I know who you mean. But boy, this just sounds like rotten to the core. Like, okay, we're going to call it Hee Haw Honey to piggyback on its fame. But then we're going to actually do a sitcom, more like a feces-com. And like, I cannot even imagine. I can't wrap around what this could have been about. You're speechless.
It's before my time, before I was old enough to.
Oh, you don't have to stretch your imagination too far to know that this can't be good.
No, I know it's crap, but I don't remember anything about it.
Well, it's like every Saturday Night Live based movie, or most every Saturday Night Live based movie based upon a skit it ever was made is just awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
There've
that,
been some good
probably.
ones, but a lot of crap.
Yeah, there's
Crap.
I've never heard of this, but it was in 1961, before our time too, but this concept, you got to read this. You're in the Picture by Jackie Gleason, and it was a show where famous people would stick their head through cardboard, and there would be an artist, I guess, draw where they couldn't see it, and they had to guess what their picture was going to be.
Like what the rest of their body was going to be doing.
Yeah, that just sounds horrible. But yeah, it made the top 10 along with Hee Haw Honeys. Moving right along, number 8. I remember this one. I bet y'all do too. Cop Rock.
Cop Rock, yes.
Oh, I
Stephen
vaguely
Bochco.
remember.
So it was basically a musical where the authorities would start breaking into song and dance. I'm gonna tase you, bro. Anyway, I don't know, but so that's gotta be bad. And speaking of MASH, well, number 7, After MASH makes the list, and
Marsh.
judging by Todd's face, basically it was Colonel Potter, Father Mulcahy, and of course Klinger. So
and Klinger's wife.
what?
Klinger's wife.
Oh, I did not know that. But yeah, it was just bad. It was MASH was gone. They wanted to see some beloved characters, but they went full out sitcom route, and it was absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
So
I watched a few episodes of that, I remember.
2002, number 6, Celebrity Boxing.
I do remember celebrity boxing.
Because wasn't Saved by the Bell's Screech in one of those?
Yeah. Who
Yeah.
did Screech fight?
It was somebody imposing, like
Was it like Joey Lawrence or something? Or not Joey
Yeah.
Lawrence, but was it somebody like that? Like
it was somebody. Maybe it was Dawson from Dawson's Creek, or
James Vanderbeek?
yeah.
James Vandergeek.
Who did Screech?
Gary, Trapper John MD was okay after MASH. I like Trapper John MD.
Yeah,
I like Trapper John MD.
but it didn't go funny. It kind of
it was-
reinvented the character and
Yes.
everything.
Yeah.
Okay, Brady, we were close. He fought Horshack.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ron
wow.
Palillo is who he fought.
Nice.
Man. Okay, number 5. This got greenlit also. Hogan's Heroes.
Hogan's Heroes is on the worst TV shows list.
Well, I mean, think about it. It's a concentration camp.
Well, I mean, but it's somewhat beloved, actually. I know the
Well, I think it's just all the context. The fact that it was a war camp. The fact that what was it, the Bob what's his name?
Bob Crane.
Yeah, he was murdered. It was there was a whole big
Yeah, but
thing.
that had nothing to do with the show.
Oh, okay. I just know that it just doesn't. I don't know.
I
It
mean,
just-
I understand why, I guess, someone who, and I'm not saying I have, but I mean, someone who didn't watch it religiously might have, on its surface, say, okay, a sitcom about a Nazi camp,
Yeah.
Nazi prisoner camp. That's see, now, just like Savannah says, Hogan's Heroes is funny.
I mean, I thought it was pretty funny. I wonder, and I'll be honest with you, I'm reading it when you read it on the surface, but I don't remember anything in the show. I mean, it was a funny, whimsical show. I guess that it's like, I don't know.
I never watched it.
See, Gary says they're gaslighting with Hogan's Heroes. I agree with that. I think that's gaslighting. Miss Wilson, welcome. She loved Hogan's Heroes. Yeah, Hogan's Heroes is beloved. I don't think it belongs on a worst show list.
Eric's pissed. Now you got Eric pissed. He's honking his horn and saying, oncoming traffic does not stop, asshole, is what he's saying to this one.
I'm not pissed. I'm annoyed by that.
Yeah.
If I were a
It's just-
religious watcher of Hogan's Heroes, I might be pissed. But
When I looked up the Screech thing, I couldn't help but to notice this paragraph. This is talking about the show you were talking about, the boxing show, the celebrity boxing.
Yeah.
The main event, or the final show, was originally going to feature a main event between John Wayne Bobbitt and Joey Buttafuoco, but ended up reseating Buttafuoco against Pro Wrestling's China after Bobbitt was arrested on domestic violence charges. So, it says the fact that a man who had his penis sawed off by his wife some 9 years earlier was supposed to fight the lover of the Long Island Lolita, Amy Fisher, but was replaced by an Amazon from the fictional world of pro wrestling tells you everything you need to know about the concept.
yep,
I mean, that's-
Wow.
that's it in a nutshell, right there, so to speak.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That.
I've
does
forgotten
work.
all about Joey Buttafuoco. And
I have too. He
Yeah.
died, didn't he?
I don't,
I
know
don't
about
know.
that.
I know China did.
Yeah.
And Screech, I mean, a lot of people died.
Number 4, and I don't remember this. It only went from 76 to 77, but the Brady Bunch Variety Hour.
Oh, I never watched it. I don't think, but I've read about it.
Even at 5, I think I realized that's bad. I don't want to be seen watching this,
but-
and my name's on it.
The only it had the actors, but it had fake Jan. So everybody except Jan from the original show, they were playing their characters, but they were not playing. It was a variety show, so they were like singing and doing.
So they
different
expected
things.
Cindy and Bobby to do the cute stuff.
Well, yeah, but I mean, nothing that they were doing had anything to do with their characters.
Okay.
They were just playing their characters. I mean, they could have just easily said, "Hey, I'm Robert Reed," but no, he said, "Hey, I'm Mike Brady." The difference
weird.
is the same. I mean, it's just weird, strange.
Yeah, that's the 70s for you. Remember, this is the era of Battle of the Network Stars and Ruth
Now,
Buzzy and
I wish they would bring the Battle of the Network Stars back. That's outstanding TV right there.
yeah, but now all these actors have
there are
fitness
no network
trainers and
stars
everything.
anymore.
You have Netflix stars, and you have
Yeah.
I want him to bring back celebrity boxing featuring the network star. No, I'm kidding. Number 3 is it's a broad brush. It's the XFL, the first incarnation. From 2001, where the guy where the he hate me, and they basically just WWF'd the the NFL.
the NFL. Yeah.
There's big hopes about that, but do you know that the NFL did adopt some of their stuff?
Yeah, they did.
I apologize, Brady, but I stumbled across that to look that up for you about Screech, and there's just all kinds of gold in this paragraph. I'd forgotten who fought in that show. It says here that the exploitive sleaze factor had already set in after the Partridge Family's Danny Bonaducci beat the living piss out of Greg freaking Brady in the first broadcast. The curtain jerker was a forgettable affair between Darva Conger and the Belarusian Olympic gold medalist gymnast Olga Korbut, who had been in the news just months earlier after she was arrested on a shoplifting charge. Later, the 400-pound former Chicago Bears defensive lineman William the Refrigerator Perry fought the 7'7" former NBA center Manute Bol, who was said, for anybody who followed the NBA in the 1980s, to have once killed a lion with a spear back in Sudan. I remember hearing about that. I remember that he supposedly killed a...
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't mean... I'm going to shut it off because I keep glancing down at it and reading all those...
There should have been a Tanya Harding versus Nancy Kerrigan.
Yeah, there should have been.
Did you mean there should have been or there was one?
There should have been. There should have been an Amy Fisher and Joey Buttafuoco's ex-wife.
Yes.
But no, I feel like I need a shower just after saying that sentence.
Didn't Todd Bridges fight someone? Who'd he fight?
Gordon Jump.
No, Todd Bridges fought somebody.
That was Dudley.
Maybe Todd Bridges fought... Let me see if I can find here. Carry on. I'll see if I can find who
Okay.
Todd Bridges fought.
I got some comments here, Brady.
Okay.
Susan says she'll be humming the Hogan's Heroes tune in her head all night.
Dun,
conversation.
dun, 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 dun.
Gary thought the Brady Bunch variety show was just an episode of the Brady Bunch.
When it's time to change.
You got to rearrange. Gotta keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on dancing all through the night. I'm gonna sing the whole Brady Bunch catalog here.
Yeah, my lapels are widening as you're singing that, and my bottoms are belling.
Sunshine Day, yes. Sunshine.
Um,
Jim says Eve Plum was not on the Brady Bunch Variety Hour because she was into porno by that time. Is that true? Do you know that, Jim?
no.
Speaking of which, Bob Crane was
Well, Bob Crane was freaky.
yeah. Brady
Maybe he saw
Tanya
Eve
Harding
Plum.
did fight though. Tanya Harding
Did
fought
she?
Paula Jones, by the way,
Oh, Paula Jones.
on celebrity boxing.
Oh, that's good. Gosh, that's just there is that's horrible. Those people are going to burn for eternity. There's nothing redeeming about what they did there. Okay, number 2. We're getting to the top 2. The number 2 worst show of all time from 1965 to 1966. And Todd, I might have to have you look this up. My Mother, the Car.
Oh, yes. Had Jerry Van Dyke, who was also in the TV show Coach, Dick Van Dyke's brother. His mother had been reincarnated. Her soul was in an old vehicle. So he communicated with the old vehicle as he was talking to his mother.
So it was like Knight Rider, but not really.
Yeah, I was going to say, 'cause it said the car was voiced by Ann Southern.
Yeah.
Or Southern.
That's just, I don't know. That there's judging from the picture, it looks like it's supposed to be a funny show, but but there's nothing really.
Yeah, I mean, it was supposed to be a sitcom. It was supposed to be funny.
Well, this is interesting because it says the show's incredible premise was similar to other popular comedies of the 60s that featured a fantastic gimmick, such as a talking horse in Mr. Ed, a suburbanite witch, Bewitched, an obedient genie, I Dream of Jeannie, or a flying nun, the flying nun.
Right.
Boy, there's a bizarre concept. When nuns fly, that's an idea.
Well, it was the 60s. I mean,
It was.
Who knows what was being consumed by these people
yeah.
creating these shows.
Exactly. I bet you could all guess what number 1 on the list is.
See, I always had heard My Mother, the Car was universally thought of as being the worst show ever, but I mean,
Not until
Close. I mean, number 2 is pretty close.
yeah, it's pretty close.
1991 says it all. When this show, many people blamed for the downfall of society. Do you know what it is now?
I know what it is because I accidentally looked. It said in the Wikipedia page about the flying car. Or mom or whatever it was called. But,
Flag Mom car.
it said
Ford
what
Edge?
one is, so I know what you're going to say.
Yes. But is the Jerry Springer Show.
So, okay, now here's the thing. Can a show be bad if it ran for 25 years?
Somebody's watching it.
I'm going to get serious for a moment. I feel about Jerry Springer the way I feel. I'm going to really step in it. MTV's Teen Mom. I think people could parse away its positivity, but when the aliens find the tapes of this 5,000 years from now, they're going to look at Jerry Springer and like, what's wrong with these people?
Oh, I think they're going to look I think they're going to look at some things now and ask what's wrong with these people. That was good entertainment. That was just pure. That was just entertainment. I didn't believe half the stuff on there. It was fiction.
Well, as someone who has been in the audience of the Jerry Springer Show,
I thought you were going to stay here on stage.
no.
Someone who has a Jerry Springer tattoo, he rips his shirt off and he's got Jerry Springer across his chest.
I mean,
So-
but its cultural impact was huge. I mean, people still go, Jerry.
Oh, well, I think Jerry, that show created all of these like reality shows now. I think that was the crux of what has
catalyst.
become- yes.
And Jerry Springer, for Pete's sake, I mean, didn't he win a Hearst Award or a daytime Emmy for like excellent reporting, and then he became what he became.
Well, if you remember, and maybe you do, maybe you don't, but his his show started in Cincinnati, but he was still working at Channel 5
Hmm.
as a news
I didn't know
anchor.
that, right?
As a newsman.
Yeah, and it was taped there in the studios, the same studios, and it was serious. Then he left Channel 5 and ended up in Chicago.
And then all heck broke loose.
Where it went crazy. Now I have to tell my story. So
This would be good.
we being my late wife and myself were in Chicago, and I had actually been to a Jeopardy tryout back to when you had to go places to try out and couldn't do it online. But got done with that. We're walking down the street and we see this sign there at WMAQ is the NBC affiliate up there in their studios. It said audience members needed for the Jerry Springer show. So, hey, we said, hey, let's go in. Because we knew Jerry Springer as a newscaster or the mayor of Cincinnati or whatever. By the way, if you don't know, he paid a prostitute with a check. That's part of his little deal, too.
He should have used Venmo.
I don't think you could use Venmo in 1977. But anyway, so we go in and we're in the audience and we're telling people like from Chicago there that, hey, did you know Jerry Springer was like an actual news person? He was mayor of Cincinnati. And I mean, these people didn't know any of that. But anyway, they don't tell you what the show's about. You see it when the show starts.
Really?
Yeah. So,
oh, this is going to be good.
So this was 2 weeks before we got married. So we go into this studio and the show starts, and the title of the show or the subject, Your Bachelor Party or Me.
Oh, my.
Okay. So over the course of the next hour, there were actual like bachelor party type activities put on in the studio, including
Donkeys?
there were no donkeys, but there were women in various states of undress, among other things. And fast forward. So several years later, I was teaching, and a couple of my students are looking at me and they're kind of smirking, and one of them looks at me and said, "Hey, Fiscus, tell us about Jerry Springer." I'm like, "What about Jerry Springer?" They proceed to tell me that they were watching one of Jerry Springer's Too Hot for TV videos, and they could see me in the audience as there were women on the stage in various states of undress. That was on the Too Hot for TV, but obviously not on the TV show. So I'm thinking, now I'm going to be fired. Fortunately, that never came to pass. But
what a way to go down. What a way to go out.
True.
Mr. Business, is it true that you were at the Jerry Springer show when there was illicit activities going on?
Yeah. So yeah, that's my Jerry Springer story.
Wow.
So, several comments about Jerry Springer.
A lot of them involving checks.
Yeah. Actually, back to my mother the car. Miss Wilson liked my mother the car. It's more like Herbie the VW. Jim, Tanya sacked someone with a pole. Paula got whacked by Bill's pole. It's like a fair fight.
Oh, God.
Oh, Jim. You're on it.
Where
You did proofread
where
now
are
before you
proofreaders
started
from?
reading.
Susan, when Springer started, it wasn't the same subject matter. Fun fact, first episode featured someone from our hometown, from Sardinia. I didn't know that. Do tell, Susan, do tell.
Well, maybe private messages.
Yeah, private message. We just out of interest. Yeah, I won't read it here, but Gary says the aliens will probably sit around eating Cheetos, watching Springer, allowing us to overthrow them and their superior weaponry. Yes, it's a look at this while we overthrow you, sort of like Independence Day while we write the virus that will take down your spaceships. Miss Wilson, Jerry Springer has the same attraction as going by a car accident and the impulse to look. That is true.
Or that Tiger King, or pretty much same idea.
Yeah.
Right. Carissa said he liked to use personal checks, and Jim said he also bounced the check. That caused the whole issue. It wasn't he paid for the prostitute with the check check then bounced. That was so So Susan said that first Jerry Springer show was about domestic violence. So obviously don't tell us any details here, but interesting fact there. And Jim also says his opinion to me has taken a serious downturn. Well, I didn't know it could go any lower, but great. All right. Jerry Springer, number one. How about that?
I prefer Jerry over a lot of the other talk show hosts myself.
Yeah, Jim J. Bullock.
Well, his
Phil Donahue, Sally Jesse Raphael.
Oh, yeah.
Not a fan of either of them.
his bouncer when I was there, Steve Wilkos, got his own show later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who was the one lady? Was there a Jenny? Jones.
Jenny Jones.
Jenny Jones.
Yeah, I didn't mind that show. Ricky Lake, that came around. I think it was out after Springer.
Yeah. Bill Cunningham had one.
Yeah, he did.
Did he? I didn't know that.
Yep.
Chris has said I was a legend to those two students. Too hot for TV. Gary, it's okay, Eric. My opinion of you has not changed. Thank you, Gary. Carrie, welcome, Carrie. Isn't Jerry doing a judge show now? He is. Judge Jerry.
Get out.
Yep.
He does have a law license, doesn't he?
He does. Not that you need one for those shows.
But I think he ended up. I mean, with how sadly in all of that, I think he was written off as somebody who was dumb, and he was not dumb.
Oh no.
I mean, far from
Not
it.
dumb at all.
Yeah.
No, he was an outstanding marketer of himself.
Yep.
I mean, to survive 25 years doing that whole thing, it was amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So that was number one. Thank you, Brady. Good topic.
That was fun.
It was fun.
We covered a lot of ground there.
We did. All right. Once again, visit our website, www.playbyyourpodcast.com, and you can become a member of our podcast. If you click the membership support tab at the top, you can click that Buy Me a Coffee link at the bottom and become a member. And you can see our list of Hall of Famers there. Savannah Brown, Allison Chavis, Chuck Griffin, Jessica Longacre, Rhonda Reeser, Christy Rocky, Joe Rocky, and got at least one of our Hall of Famers in the room here with us. Savannah's here. I don't think Allison's here tonight. She's somewhat regular as well. All right, but check that out. And we are to our game of the night, gentlemen. And we haven't played chicken or egg lately.
Oh, poultry or ovum. We have not gone there in a while.
Poultry or ovum, we have not. All right, so to remind people of what this game is about, I'm going to give two items or two things, and our co-host here has to tell us which one came first.
I hear a frying sound.
I was opening up my game sucker.
Todd is getting his game sucker in place. All right. Todd, we drew lots backstage. You go first.
Nice.
Cast the first lot.
Cast the first lot. All right. So, what came first? Pizza or pepperoni? Pizza or pepperoni?
I have nothing witty to say. I have nothing funny to say. I'm just going to go with pepperoni.
Pepperoni. All right. The earliest... I'll check that.
How does this work? I forget. Like, if I get it wrong, does Brady get the point? Or
If you get it wrong, Brady gets the point. That's how this works. And vice versa. All right. Side one answer is pizza came first. Pepperonis. The popular pizza topping known as pepperoni is the American version of salami and was created in the early 1900s. The word
Really?
pizza was first documented in AD 997 in
Wow.
Geta, Italy. And
see, I never put the. I was just
Modern
thinking
pizza.
of a stick of meat. a stick of meat was around longer than pizza was. That's what I was thinking.
Right, I got you. Modern pizza was sliced up in Naples in the late 18th century, pepperoni free. So Brady gets the point, and Brady is ahead 1-0.
Circle gets the square.
Circle gets the square.
Double this up.
All right, Brady,
See?
which came first? Dice or cards? Dice or cards?
Speaking of casting lots, if dice throwing is mentioned in the Bible before everybody was literate and could read cards and numbers, but they could count dots, I'm going to go dice.
Gonna go dice. Answer is dice.
Yeah.
The earliest references for playing cards were in Europe in 1477. They were probably created in China, where paper was invented. They shuffled paper money in different combinations, sometime around 1100. The ancient Egyptians were depicted playing dice, and they have been found in ancient tombs dating back to 2000 BCE.
No dice.
No dice. All right, so Brady once again gets the point. We're playing to 10, gentlemen. Playing to 10. It's a pretty quick scoring game here. Anything can happen. Brady's up 2-0. Todd. Here's one from kind of a throwback to the 70s memories, 80s memories, early 80s. Which came first, Todd? Kmart or Walmart? Kmart or Walmart?
Now, I personally remember going to Kmart before Walmart. I'm going to say Kmart.
Okay. Kmart is correct. Sam Walton opened the first Walmart in Rogers, Arkansas, July 2nd, 1962. His business strategy was successful with 24 stores 5 years later and sales of $12.7 million. Kmart, however, had just opened their first discount store March 1st, 1962.
It had nothing to do with which one I went to first. I just got lucky.
Right. Opened in Garden City, Michigan. Just 4 years later, there were 122 Kmart stores in the country. So Kmart beat them by, 4 months.
4 months, yeah.
I had a relative that was the store manager of a Kmart in Memphis, Tennessee. And I remember being down there as a kiddo and saying that they were switching over. He was changing jobs to this new company coming in called Walmart. It was taking over. And what a better company. That was probably about 1980 or 81.
Yeah, Kmart was late coming to this area. Maybe they were just strictly in the South for a long time. But says that either of you know what the K means in Kmart?
No, I do not. Quick. KWIK. Quick, Mart.
Now you're thinking of King Quick.
Yeah, that's it.
Kangaroo Mart.
No. The name of the
Knife Mart.
Nitty Gritty Mart.
Knitting Mart.
The name of the family that created the corporation was the Kresge family, Kresge. So Kresge Mart.
Mart is much better.
Little trivia there for you. So 2-1. Brady.
Yeah.
Which came first? Liquid paper or liquid plumber?
My guess is that the need for correcting typewriter mistakes existed before a lot of major indoor plumbing. I'm going to go with liquid paper.
All
Might be
right.
faulty reasoning, but I'm sticking with it.
Okay, well,
I like to
you're-
call liquid paper a bidet. and and you know my take on bidets.
Well done, sir.
Brady, whether your reasoning was correct or incorrect, your answer was correct. Liquid paper.
Yes.
Betty Nesmith Graham, Nesmith, mother of Michael Nesmith.
Get out of town.
Yes,
So his mother was a liquid paper millionaire?
yes, she was.
Rest his soul. He just passed recently. I love the monkeys.
She was a single mom secretary who liked to paint. She invented liquid paper, originally called Mistake Out, in 1956. Clorox began distributing liquid paper 6 years later in 1962. So there you go.
Wow. It's a small world.
It is indeed. All right. So that makes our score 3-1. Todd?
Yes.
You're up. Which came first? Sesame Street or Disney World? Sesame Street or Disney World?
Disney World.
Disney World. The answer is Sesame Street.
Oh, no. See, I didn't see that coming.
No, I didn't either.
I thought
Now-
Sesame Street came from a bunch of like ganja smoking hippies that got together and started PBS, and that Disney World existed before that.
But here's the thing, though.
Disneyland.
Disneyland did come
You-
before Sesame.
You know, that ran through my mind, and I was almost going to ask if I could decipher the two, but I figured you wouldn't have let me anyway.
All right, Sesame Street, who doesn't know Big Bird and Mickey Mouse, but which is older, the popular children's TV show or the theme park? Well, Sesame Street debuted on November 10th, 1969 on National Education Television, which later became PBS. This street opened before Main Street USA in Florida, and as Disney World did not open its doors until October 1st, 1971.
Yeah.
So I was not even a month old.
I was going to ask which came first, Disney World or Disneyland. I figured there was a Disney before there was a Sesame Street, but I couldn't remember which came first.
I believe Disneyland was 1956, around 55,
Yeah.
56, somewhere around in there.
Crap.
That makes it 4-1. Brady,
Doing a lot of damage to myself here.
you are. Which came first, Brady? Go-karts or putt-putt golf?
I got a go-kart that'll go 80 miles an hour. Let's see. I think the concept of miniature golf or putt-putt golf has probably been around for a while because there was always practice putting greens. But to be monetized into miniature golf with sand castles and windmills and stuff,
Right.
oh man. And I've trailed off miniature golf, and what was the other one?
Go-karts.
That's right. I'm going to say go-karts. As long as there's been motors, there's been somebody make them wee for their children. I'm going to go go-karts.
Answer is putt-putt golf.
Wow. I was agreeing with go-karts. See, we should have to say whether we agree or not, and if we agree, we don't get the point. But we have to say it before, you know what I mean? We have to say, because I agree with Brady there, so can we throw a stipulation into that?
Does that mean you wouldn't have
Next
gotten
time
the
we
point?
play it.
No, I wouldn't have gotten a point, yeah, because I would have thought go-karts too.
Art Ingalls is considered the father of karting. I
Gotta be
read
careful
that real
there.
quick. I read that real quick. I thought, what was it say? And is believed to have put together the first motorized go-kart in California in 1957. Don Clayton is considered the father of putt-putt golf, creating a fun amusement for kids and parents in 1954. The first miniature golf course was actually an 18-hole putting green in St. Andrews, Scotland, formed in 1867 to allow women to play golf, since it was unacceptable to allow them on
The cart their bag.
in the club.
Well, who first put them together to make for a fantastic date night?
Indeed.
We'll have to expound upon why putt-putt golf is excellent for dates. As
Well,
youths.
I just remember, I mean, like, because, the putt-putt and the go-karts were it was a pretty big thing around the time I started dating at Eastgate there. But I don't remember any other place having it. I don't remember any other place having go-karts and putt-putt at the same location. Because weren't the go-kart track, was it around the putt-putt? Was the putt-putt in the middle?
It was off to the side.
Oh, it was off to the side.
Now in
Putt-putt was on
Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, there's all kind of creative meldings between the two.
Now, but think about that there at Eastgate. First off, you could go there, get you some Perkins. Man, I miss Perkins. And then you could go play some golf, ride the go-karts. But the best part I think about...
Is that what you called it?
The best part about playing there, though, was the location. When you think about it, it was very cool to be right by the highway, to have cars speeding by. And I mean, it was just a cool visual.
Honking at you when you're on your backstroke.
Not as cool as, being in Florida or something, being able to see the ocean while you play putt-putt, but pretty cool for Eastgate.
That was pretty cool. Like, I remember not loving the course there, and it always took forever because it was crowded.
Yes.
Now, not to be confused with Beachmont Avenue. What was it? $5 or was it $4 or $5 all you could putt on some nights?
I never ever went there.
Oh, how did you not get in on that? Because
I
like there
don't
would
know.
be times like we would go and play like five or like we got our money's worth. We extracted all the marrow from the bone on our $5 all you can putt.
Yeah, I never went there. I'm not sure why.
Well, Eric, doesn't this sound familiar? You know how some of the obstacles were more rotund and short and rounded, and some were taller, and we had one were called these and one were called those, and I cannot tell you what they're called here now, but you know what I'm talking about.
I got you.
Yeah.
I'm there. All right, Todd. Which came first? Wendy's hamburgers or Nathan's hot dogs? Wendy's hamburgers or Nathan's hot dogs?
Let's see. So Dave would have founded Wendy's. He died, 15 years ago? Probably mid-'80s when he died. It's way too much math. I'm going to say Nathan's hot dogs.
Answer is Nathan's hot dogs. You may know that the Wendy's hamburger chain was created by Dave Thomas and named after his youngest daughter, Wendy. That was in 1969. You may not know, however, that Thomas was able to open this chain after earning millions from Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurants. Nathan Handwerker's specialty has always been hot dogs from his early days at Coney Island. He opened his first Nathan's Famous in 1916.
I've got an interesting story about Wendy's. My freshman year roommate at Ohio State, his girlfriend's father was asked to get in on the ground floor of investing in Wendy's. And his financial advisor, told him, no, don't do it because nobody's going to want square hamburgers. That's going to weird people out. So he didn't, invest, but it cost him, it would have made him thousands, hundreds of thousands.
Well, Lawrence Donahue, who lived in Sardinia, was asked to go in with Carl Linder on UDF and declined.
Wow. Well, first off, I have no problem with a square burger.
I mean, I don't know why one would be so.
White Castle was doing square burgers.
Yeah, I mean,
But you think about it, those are the only two shapes: square and circle burgers. How come there are no
rhombus burgers or
trapezoid burgers?
Oval.
there we
heart-shaped
go.
burgers?
Play
I guess
it by ear.
I
the
guess there are
official
some oval
burger.
burgers. If you think like there's some not perfect circles and there's some rectangle burgers when you think about it, but they are derivatives of the square and the circle just being misshapen a little bit.
Thinking like an oval burger on a submarine bun.
Yeah.
We need to make dodecahedron burgers and market them as our own, and we can have 12-sided hamburgers, and it's going to be ours, and we can make a fortune on it.
There we go. I was a fan of the JTM square hamburgers. Jesus, that's meat.
Well, I was just laughing about that because I was laughing at Steakums. I saw Steakums at Dollar General. I was like, I have not had a Steakum in decades.
Gosh, I love me some Steakums back in the
Well,
day.
but like,
Or
it would taste.
Should that have been steak?
No, it should have been called steak. But it didn't taste bad, but it didn't smell good while cooking it. It took on a slightly dog food kind of smell, but it tasted fine once I put some cheese and toasted. But I'm like, not as good as I remembered.
See, cheese is like the breading on an onion ring. If you put cheese in, most anything's edible. After it's been cheesed.
Which again, that's why I go back to Brady's stubbornness about casseroles. Casseroles typically have cheese in them, making them tasty.
Edible.
Yes. But no, I didn't think Steakums were still around. I mean, I had those when I was a kid. I remember having those about the time I would have been, getting into my teens and old enough to kind of, if mom or dad wasn't home, to make myself some lunch type thing. Put some mozzarella sticks in the Fry Daddy and make myself some Steakums.
I kind of consider Steakums like. Do you remember Sizzling?
Yes.
I don't.
I loved Sizzling, and I wonder where it went, but it wasn't Sizzling turkey bacon.
I'm not sure about that.
Because turkey bacon kind of tastes like Sizzling used to, and I preferred Sizzling to bacon. Way less fatty, much more tasty.
I liked. Do you remember those? Mom always got them. They were called Chuck Wagons, and they were like
by
Chuck Wagon being a dog food.
They were patties. I think they were called Chuck Wagons.
So did your mom go the route of you not being able to eat the real cereal? And
No. I think they were called Chuck Wagons. I need to call her after this episode and find out, but I could call her on the episode. I should call my mom on the episode sometime. But they were like patties. They were huge, and they were, dare I say, orangish in color and hue. They had when they were raw and uncooked, but they almost became the color of a chicken patty, like when they were fried.
Gary
what was
says
it?
Breading patties.
Yeah, Gary remembers them. See, we're from the same family. We probably all ate them.
There you go.
Probably got
they
them
were
from the
good.
Swans, man.
Yeah, and Gary also says we need hexagon burgers.
We probably did get them from the Swan Man.
Jim
now that I
said
think about
dodo
The
it.
chicken
burgers.
Kiev.
Ooh.
Uh,
Breb's
Brady.
pudding or chicken Kiev, either one of them. They do for me what spleen does for Eric.
So you have an aversion to Breb's pudding, but you'll eat chicken and dumplings. I don't understand.
Well, there's two things there. I never got sick and threw up all night after eating chicken and dumplings like I did Breb's pudding, and Breb's pudding has baked raisins in it. And I don't mind a raisin in like Raisin Bran, but you don't bake a raisin.
You don't like oatmeal raisin cookies?
I take that back. I do like oatmeal raisin cookie. I don't know what it was. They were just the raisins is what I remember.
Got sick, man.
Yeah, well,
And
but
that's
I
what happened to fly out.
but I distinctly remember the raisin part of it as you know.
As it
Hence my
bounced off your
aversion.
palate as it was being projectile vomited.
It's my aversion to Big Macs.
Who was it that somebody got sick on coleslaw? I can't remember who it was.
Brady.
The
Was
world.
it Brady?
I got sick off the. Speaking of Schwans, I got sick off the the raspberry sherbet bars,
Yeah.
which gave me neon pink vomit. I came down with the stomach flu. It hit our whole family. I barfed a gallon of that stuff.
Susan said chuck wagons weren't bad if you were really hungry.
Well, again, you put a slice of cheese and some ketchup on them. They were pretty tasty, but they were orange. I remember them being
Peel the
orange.
hoof off.
I got to find a picture of these damn things now.
All right, Brady.
See,
Weed whacker or nair?
or what?
Nair.
The hair remover,
Yes.
the depilatory.
Yes.
I'm gonna say Nair.
Nair is correct. The weed whacker was invented in 1971 by George Ballas out of frustration.
Word what?
Ballas, Ballas, over having to hand cut unmowable areas in his yard. Nair was the first depilatory style hair remover. Came out during World War II when stockings were scarce and legs went bare around 1940.
I bet that stuff was like the first generation of Nair. I bet that was just barely above like Chernobyl waste.
Here they are, Eric. Look them up. Just Google this: Chuck Wagon frozen patties, and you'll see them.
Right
Ready
beside
serve.
Gaines Burgers.
Ready Serve was the brand.
Kennel ration tender time.
Chuck Wagon frozen. You guys are going to be surprised. They look nothing like dog food. They look like a chicken patty and a veal patty. Apparently, they had
Both cow patties.
Encore.
Did you find them?
I did.
Chuck Wagon beef patties.
You can hold it up to the light and read
Is it the
paper.
Ready Serve?
Uh,
Value pack. Good protein. Country fried. Breaded and cooked.
so you have had country fried steak.
Apparently, I have.
Didn't even know it. All right, let me get this tab here.
Tag.
Encore Chuck Wagon beef patties. There you go.
That's not the brand Ready Serve is the brand I remember.
You know what? I think that is the country fried steak. That's exactly what that is. I remember getting
All
those.
it is
I
is
remember
like
those
a-
at school.
All it is a hamburger patty fried in breading. Tell me that's not healthy.
It's not fancy like the Charles Wagon. Charles Wagon beef Patricias.
There you are. Ready Serve. REDI Serve.
Here you go.
Where are they at?
Did you see them?
No, I'm
No.
still on the where you Google
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
You gotta click on images.
I don't know why it didn't change there. Let me try it again.
Gentlemen, I think I got a case of the moon face going on today. I've eaten a little bit of processed food on the snow day. And as soon as that camera came back on, I look like I'm retaining the
There they
water.
are. Only 200 calories per serving. That's not bad at all.
But it's only a C plus.
Hey, they're a
It has
bit,
a
they're a
question
bit
mark.
oval.
Why? Because it's possum. The other yellow meat.
If you would eat steakums, Brady, you should eat a Chuck Wagon.
Well, that's it. And I'm going to say, like, if somebody gave me the steakum that had already been prepared, it'd be fine. But my problem is it smelled really funny when I cooked it the other day. Is while it was cooking.
See, the mascot there has a trucker hat and sunglasses. Is that a Chuck
good
Wagon beef patty mascot with glasses and
I think
a
so.
trucker hat?
Yeah. For some reason, I thought it was an orange when I first looked at it on my phone, but that wouldn't make any sense.
It's got a pair of Ray-Bans on.
Gary
He's
says
very
Chuck
ready.
Wagon paper thin meat. All right. Back to the there we
Full
go.
disclosure, it feels like, we're not really feeling the urgency on this one because we all three have snow days tomorrow. Todd, have you got your snow call yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Got it just as we were starting the episode.
Todd,
Yes.
which came first? 7-Eleven or 7-Up?
I'm curious to hear the answer to this one.
At least know they had 7-Up in the early 80s. Late 70s, early 80s. I'm going to say, I'm guessing for some reason that, I don't know why I'm guessing this, but I'm thinking 7-Up was the first of the, I'm thinking 7-Up is older than Sprite.
I have an answer to this.
But I'm going to go 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven is correct.
Get out of town.
7-Eleven is the world's largest chain of convenience stores and is known for the Big Gulp. First store opened in 1927 in Dallas, Texas.
See, can I interject here?
Yeah.
I've heard the story, and this might be urban legend, that 7-Up was invented back in the 1800s as a mood medicine because it contained lithium, which is the seventh element on the periodic table, and it was 7-Up to up your mood.
Well, let me finish the little blurb here.
Sounds like some sciencey, nerdy stuff, Brady.
You would not have been able to purchase 7-Up when 7-Eleven first opened, as it was first invented in 1929 and called Bib Label Lithiated Lemon Lime Soda. The name was changed to 7-Up.
Can't imagine why they changed the name.
1936 is when they changed the name. So there you go. You were correct about the lithium and such. But
my organic chemistry memorization skills comes back every now and then.
5-4. Maybe we shouldn't go to 10. You want to pick a number to go to?
4. As right now, whoever has 4 wins.
How about lucky number 7? That's close. That's within striking
All right.
distance.
7 it is. All right. Brady, Johnny Walker, or Jack Daniels?
Ooh. I mean, Jack Daniels is more famous or infamous, but Johnny Walker just sounds like something that's been around since the pioneer days. Because, like, you know, go see Johnny Walker. He's got some cooking in his still. I'm going to go Johnny Walker, and I have no idea why. It just sounds older.
Well, Johnny Walker is Scotch, where Jack Daniels is whiskey.
It's Tennessee whiskey.
So, yeah. So I would agree that Johnny Walker. Not that it matters, I mean, but I agree with Brady.
Answer is Jack Daniels.
Ooh, see, I wouldn't have got the point had you adapted my new scoring system.
There you go.
Yeah.
Johnny Walker had a great respect for flavorful malt whiskeys and launched Johnny Walker Red Label Scotch whiskey in 1909. Jack Daniels was a pioneer in distilling whiskey, and his process is still used today. Daniels started making his signature whiskey in 1863.
That's pre-Civil War.
During the Civil War.
Well, I mean, before its conclusion. That's like, that seems like something that would not have been allowed.
I'm sure that's what they gave them before they sawed off a limb or something.
True.
Yeah, right.
Get the bone saw out.
Knotted up at 5.
Oh, dog knotted up.
All righty then. Todd, which
Yes.
came first? Jelly Bellies or Beanie Babies? Jelly Bellies or Beanie Babies?
You know, I don't remember as a kid seeing Jelly Bellies. I mean, obviously, jelly beans, but it was always like Brax or whatever the brand of jelly. You know, it was
Brax.
Those big nastians.
A lot of licorice ones in those bratches.
Oh, yeah, and they were big licorice ones. You can get by if you slip a Jelly Belly licorice because they're small enough. 2 bites and you're done. But those big ones, those big old ones,
Like a castor bean that they threw in there.
Man.
Jelly Bellies or Beanie Babies?
I'm going to say Beanie Babies.
Answer is Jelly Bellies. Jelly Bellies are the first jelly beans to have natural flavors, and their quality led to being the preferred candy by President Reagan and the first jelly bean in outer space. This original gourmet jelly bean with such flavors as berry, cherry, cream soda, and buttered popcorn was introduced in 1976. Wow. Bongo, Rainbow, and Princess are a few of the names of the classic Beanie Babies that became a national craze in the 90s and made Ty Warner, the product's founder, a multimillionaire. The product has been going strong since its creation in 1993.
See, if they would have slipped Reagan a puke or booger flavored Jelly Belly, then he would have shut it down right away, and they wouldn't have. The company would have been
would have
kaput.
won.
Well, those are not. Are those
Jelly Belly
Bellies
makes
as
the.
well?
They make like
Bernie
the.
Bot. It's like something.
I mean, I know
Bernie
they have
Bot.
the gross tasting ones, but I mean, are those considered Jelly Bellies as well?
Oh, that's the
Don't
brand
have
makes
it.
them, isn't it?
But is
don't
it a
think-
different name?
I think those came from Harry Potter.
Well, but I think Jelly Belly makes them though.
They very well might. They might have bought the rights to it and marketed it.
Let me look it up here. Weird and gross jelly bean flavors. So, yeah, because see, I remember Riley used to have a Bean Boozled
That's it.
game.
Yeah. right.
And, yeah, it's Jelly Belly brand. Yeah, they have all the burp, and snot and all that
Cat
stuff.
part.
Cat-
I would say burp flavored jelly bean would have to change depending upon what you eat.
it's always pickle flavored. So,
Cucumbers.
the funny thing is about not to keep hammering on Brady, but it's fun to do. But you could pretty much give Brady a normal case. It could be like, casserole flavored Jelly Belly, and he would be just as gross to him as like a fart or puke flavor one to most people.
Mayonnaise flavored. jelly
Mayonnaise
bean.
flavored, Miracle Whip flavored. Just a condiment box of Jelly Bellies would be awesome to give to Brady.
I just had some throw up in my mouth.
Okay, Brady. So here's the question: if you had a box of the black licorice jelly beans or a box of mayonnaise flavored jelly beans,
Licorice. Don't even test me.
Really?
Licorice is so foul and vile, but mayonnaise is other level.
okay, so what if you compare a mayonnaise flavored jelly bean with a hamburger flavored jelly bean or something that mayonnaise would go on?
That's okay because I would vomit that too.
Well, you can. I mean, I know that's part of the thing of those Jelly Bellies is like combining them to make other.
It kind of reminds me when Jones Soda did the Thanksgiving dinner sodas,
Ugh.
and they had like the turkey flavored soda and the gravy flavored soda and the cranberry soda and the asparagus soda.
We do that once in a topic. I think we did.
I think
Yeah.
we did the weird flavored sodas, but that's what made me think of it. Yeah.
All right, darn it.
All right, Brady,
For the win.
for the win.
For the win.
Which came first? Discovery of the North Pole or discovery of the South Pole?
Now, what do we mean by discovery? Like that we're aware it's there or somebody getting to it? Like, oh, there's a North Pole, or I'm going to go to the North Pole. Which one are we talking here?
Someone getting there.
I'm going to say the North Pole because it's much. I mean, even though it's treacherous, it's not near as treacherous as Antarctica. That's my guess. So I'm going to say somebody got to the North Pole first. Santa.
North Pole is correct.
Yes.
Discovery of the North Pole has been disputed over the years. It was first thought that American explorer Robert Peary and his party were first in 1909. However, this and other claims were ruled incorrect in 1997 by a historian who said that the first to precisely reach 90 degrees latitude north was Joseph Fletcher in 1952.
Who was the first guy?
Matthew Perry.
No.
Robert.
Robert. Yeah.
Wasn't he the center for the Celtics circa 1986, 87? The chief?
Not Robert Parrish.
Oh, okay.
Robert Perry. And there was another guy too, wasn't there? That was supposed to be in on that.
He was an African American gentleman.
Yes.
Matthew something.
But he was like Swedish or something, wasn't he? Or anyway. Neither of those reached 90 degrees north latitude. That was Joseph Fletcher in 1952. However, all those people were all ahead of the first person to discover the South Pole, which was George Dufek and his crew. 1956. So there you have it. Brady, once again, with the win.
I declare that the next time we play this game, we agree or disagree with the person, and that determines whether we get the point. We'll call it the Todd Griffin rule.
There you go.
Kyle King has his own rule, by golly. I can have my own rule.
Well, there you go.
It would make it more exciting.
It would.
Good game, Brady. Good game. 2 weeks in a row, man.
Thank you.
Good game.
I'm sitting on a biscuit because I'm on a roll.
All right. That brings us to the end of episode 86. Once again, reminder that our audio version of episode 86 will be released at 3 a.m. on Friday, although we had some technical difficulties this past week and it wasn't released precisely at 3 a.m. But this week it will be. You can find it on anchor.fm, also Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeartRadio app. Most anywhere you can find an audio podcast. Also, you can find a video, which will be archived on YouTube, which we're currently streaming to, as well as Facebook and Twitch.
Twitch.
Social media links can be found on our website as well, playitbyearpodcast.com. You may interact with us via email, admin@playitbyearpodcast.com. You can also leave a voice message. Click the link at your audio podcast provider. You can leave us a voice message. We're still waiting. It's been a while. All right. With that, anything for the good of the order, gentlemen?
I don't think so.
Gentlemen?
Check this out.
What is it? Cereals?
You're frozen. Lucky Charms. Clusters. What kind of cluster is that?
Well, I'll tell you what it's not. I know it's like a cluster of Rice Krispies with mallow on them, and then you get the marshmallows too. It's pretty tasty.
It's like a sugar cube.
My pancreas thinks so too.
Pancreas.
All right, join us next week for episode 87 of the Play It By Ear podcast. You can check us out on Facebook. You will get the invite there, or put it on our Facebook page, and you can once again join us next week.
We are sneaking up on 100.
We
are.
All right, Todd, take us out.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Play It By Ear podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter @Play It By Ear Pod 2, and our website at anchor.fm/Play It By Ear podcast. Thanks again, and join us next time as we play it by